There's this quiet assumption in New Zealand that super will sort things out. You hit 65 and the payments start, and somehow it all works. But there's a gap, and most people don't see it until they're standing in it. I'm Mark Leishman.
And I'm Hannah McQueen, and this is the next bit, bite-sized.
As a financial advisor for decades, Hannah, you know a lot about this subject, so let's get into it. Hannah, superannuation is not designed to fully fund your retirement, is it?
Well, I don't think it is. It's $500 a week. If you can live on that, all power to you. I think that there is a little bit of a mindset shift because some people think that superannuation should fund your retirement. I don't think that it's the taxpayer's responsibility to fund everyone's retirement. But that's where your KiwiSaver comes in.
Yes.
That's where you might downsize your home. That's where you might plant a vegetable garden and you might reduce your expenses as much as you can. But you got to do something. This isn't a handout. It's a hand up, I guess.
Yeah, realistically, what can you expect from it in terms of how much help can it be? Is it?
Well, I think if you have a mortgage-free home, it is possible to live on the superannuation, but you'd have to have pretty tight cash flow control.
And low expectations.
And low expectations. There's no big travel. There's no lovely food, but it's doable. It absolutely is doable. I've seen my clients have done that. But for most of us, there's probably a $20,000 gap a year. So you're getting 25 grand in from super. You probably need another 20 grand to live a comfortable life. And if it's a couple, then that's 40 grand. And comfortable is relative. That's still very moderate. Again, I think it's only possible if you are mortgage-free or if you don't own your home, that you are able to live somewhere without paying rent, which usually means with family somehow.
For the average person, how big is the gap, do you think?
The gap changes depending on the lifestyle you want to live, and the lifestyle is normally set by the lifestyle you've been accustomed to. So those who have lived on small income for their life, that's going to be plenty. It's people like you and I who possibly have become accustomed to a more generous lifestyle. That adjustment can be quite jarring.
What is the solution? Is there a solution?
Save.
Yeah.
Understand how much you need to save. The earlier you start, you can benefit from leverage. Get mortgage free. Work out what your retirement's going to cost. How much is your KiwiSaver and your other savings going to contribute to that cost, and what is the shortfall? And work out how you're going to close that gap. And normally it's through downsizing your home.
And working, I suppose, in part-time work.
The longer you work, the better. I think that people don't credit work with enough. Not only does it bring in income, which is very helpful, that income also means that you're not eating into your retirement savings earlier. So you're delaying eating into your retirement savings, which means that money can work harder for you. But it also gives you that structure, that social connection, that purpose, that identity, and a check each week. Those things are very, very valuable. Whether you're working in the job that you've always worked in or remaining at the same stress levels of your job if you've got to the top, I'm not necessarily saying that. I think the transitioning through to your next phase is certainly better than a hard cut-off from work.
So in other words, you work longer, but perhaps
work less hours.
Ease out of it. Work.
That's right. Yeah, and I think, I'd be encouraging that for at least 5 years after 65.
Yeah.
So taking people to 70. But in addition to that, enjoy that period. This isn't about, oh my gosh, another 5 years, you've moved the goalposts again. It's not about that. It's about, let's just get the balance right. So if you want to travel more in that time, travel. That is the time to travel. But let's just balance it with the money that's coming in, so that you're not eroding your savings prematurely.
Yeah. And of course, the other big factor is health, isn't it? If your health isn't up to it, then you're not going to have the ability to probably do the part-time work. And
yeah, you have to maintain your health and maintain your independence for as long as possible. But that's also why people tend to spend most in the first few years of retirement, because they're like, well, I've got my health. If ever I'm going to do this, now is the time to do it. And that makes sense, but it also front loads your living costs. They're higher for the first few years of retirement.
And I guess for the person who is approaching retirement and, superannuation as the only form of income, is there anything they can do?
Absolutely. I mean, part-time jobs are great. And that might be just helping in a local retail shop. It might be renting out a room to a boarder. It could be getting a job at Bunnings. It could be taking whatever your skill set was and contracting more casually to that in the community. It might be becoming an Uber driver. Like, it's little bits of income are wonderful, always wonderful, but it also brings with it usually social connection, a sense of purpose, structure, something you've got to get out of bed for, something to take you away from your spouse for the day, a better work story. All of those things, they become very relevant as we get older, or the lack of those things become detrimental as you get older.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much. Superannuation is a foundation. It's not the whole house.
And when there is a gap, the stress of that doesn't just sit in your bank account, it sits in your body. Financial pressure can impact your sleep, your confidence, and especially your health. And that's when decline can start to accelerate.
Which is why getting clarity isn't just about money. It's about staying independent for longer.
Exactly. And that's a big part of what we do over at Brightly, helping people take control early so retirement feels stable, not stressful. Find us at agebrightly.co.nz.
And thank you for listening to The Next Bit, Bite-Sized. We'll see you next time.